Good morning, friends. Julie Cross here. How are you all doing today? Boy, oh boy, we're dancing on a shifting carpet at the moment, aren't we? You know, I have to admit I woke up this morning and I hadn't seen the news yesterday, so I did watch some early news. Oh, and my heart hurt a little. You know, I had a little bit of a cry. We're just so, we're heightened emotionally at the moment, I think. We're, as I said, dancing on this shifting carpet. You know, change is inevitable. Every day things are changing. We don't know what the next day is going to bring. And I was just thinking before that it's a little bit like swimming in a surf beach, and you're constantly going to be watching for the next wave. You can't ever quite relax and just, you know, just peacefully relax into it. You've kind of got to be on high alert. And I think that there's a little bit of that happening at the moment for sure with this situation. You know, I remember when I was in the midst of my husband having a stroke and Thomas being diagnosed with autism, and it just, things were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I remember saying to my doctor, you know, I just feel like every time I stand up, the carpet gets pulled out from under me again, and that, you know, you wonder if you keep having the strength to keep getting back up. But of course we do, and we keep accessing things that give us the strength to keep getting back up. And, you know, and also it's a little bit like when he had his stroke, no doctor could give me a date when he would be better. So when do you be happy again? You know, and we're in that situation now with this COVID, that there's no date that we've been given, that everything goes back to, you know, all peaceful, where, you know, suddenly the ocean is flat again. It's still that we're constantly on alert, waiting for the next wave. So we do have to really look after ourselves through this time. You know, it's very important that we're nurturing ourselves, not just physically and looking after our immunity systems, but spiritually, mentally and emotionally. And we actually have to do it more so right now because we are being bombarded constantly and living on this edge of fear and on high alert all the time. And I think that we underestimate the effect that has on us emotionally and mentally and physically and spiritually. So we have to be very aware of that and working on that and making sure that we're looking after ourselves constantly in that space. And I think the other thing that it's showing up through this time is that there are a lot of people out there, I guess, lacking the skill of self-leadership as well and discipline. And we know that just with our own personal health, you know, the fact that, you know, applying that discipline to walk every day and do loving things for your body, etc. You know, and we've got to keep working out those emotional muscles too, and that mental muscle of discipline, etc. So, you know, we need a constant workout to stay strong across all of that. And now more than ever. And so I guess that all of that was part of the idea of me creating this Backstage, which is an inner circle. It's a membership where you join and we get to go closer together and have deeper workouts and work on some of these concepts more. And so that's the sort of the thinking behind that. So you can see me at a live event, but how do we get backstage to unpack that, you know, to really go deeper and to ask the questions and to spend more time? And so the idea of Backstage was born. And so I want to explain a little bit more about what that is about. And so it is an inner circle, it is a membership. And so with that, you get exclusive access to a special room, a Facebook room where I can spend more time. So effectively, we go behind the scenes. You get to come into more of my life and more of my daily rituals of how I stay energized, empowered, motivated, and what I do when I don't feel like that, and those sorts of things. So there's going to be a room where there'll be lots of live videos where we'll be able to have much more one-on-one interaction, almost like, I guess, a coaching style of situation, if you like, as well. But aside from that, there will be fun nights. There will be times where we have a drink together, where we stay connected, where I get to know you all a little bit better, where we delve a little bit deeper. And there will, of course, be joy and fun. I mean, never has it been more important to be still accessing joy and laughter and fun through this time. You know, this is the other thing that I've noticed is that I rang my girlfriend in Melbourne the other day because, you know, they suddenly got into lockdown and of course, things are so on the edge right there at the moment. And I was hiking on Hinchinbrook having a beautiful time, and it felt a little bit like almost survivor's guilt. You know, how dare I be having such a joyful time? And I know, you know, you guys are all in such trauma down there. But of course, what we know is that, of course, we still have a right to our joy in all of this, and that the best thing we can do for our immunity systems and for each other and for our society is to stay in touch with that joy, the love, the kindness. And so we'll talk about all of that, those sorts of things as well in this Backstage room, and share, you know, on all of those subjects. So there'll be fun nights, there'll be comedy nights. I'm going to have special guests come in. I'm going to talk about what we're reading, all of those kinds of things. And it will be an evolved evolving style of space. And that's the other beauty of the Backstage room, is that aside from a book that we read or a course that we might do, this is obviously going to be a space that is changing depending on what's happening in the climate at the time, so that we can all kind of move through this together and talk about whatever's affecting us and what's on, in our minds or in our hearts at the time. So I'm very excited about it. Some people have already entered the room, and so, if you're wondering who's in there or why you would go in there, and some people it's their own personal development. One lady that I met many years ago at a conference, and she brought her daughter to one of my shows, and and now she wants to do it for her own personal development. And then I have another lady that I knew years ago in the hairdressing industry, Tina, and so she's looking at developing herself as a leader, but also knowing that there'll be things that she can take back to her team, because we're leading our teams through this time as well. So there'll be all sorts of different focuses. A little bit, what I've done previously is it's autism, it's parenting, it's ourselves, it's menopause, it's money, it's men, it's all of those things. So it'll be a big spectrum of all things energising, entertaining and empowering. And so the way it's set up is that, I guess my best analogy for this is because we've all had to find a pivot. We've seen restaurants who used to just do dine in. And so for me at a live event, it's your dine in experience. You come to a live event, you sit with me, we're there in real life and you dine in. And then when restaurants, they had to close, and very much my restaurant had to close. I couldn't do dine in anymore. I did my first event last night live, but of course we don't know how long that's going to last for. And so restaurants had to pivot. They had to come up with something else, and so they started doing takeout. So I guess you could say that my Backstage now is the takeout version, in that we can't sit together, but you can get something and you can take it home into your room. So you come into the Backstage room and you can sit with me in your room, and it's like a takeout experience, if you like. And so you're coming kind of back into the kitchen with me to see how the meal's made, to see the messages I share on stage. What's the foundation of these messages, and what do I do every day in my life to live these messages? So we're going a little bit deeper and deconstructing the meal, deconstructing the message. And like we might order a meal to nurture ourselves physically, well, you order a message from me to nurture yourself emotionally and spiritually and mentally. So we're looking after ourselves. And just like, a restaurant might then go back to doing some live events, which I hope to, but sometimes you still get the takeout from there. And so it's a little bit like that. And so will I still be showing up on Facebook? Yes, of course I will. But it'll be more like a taster. How restaurants sometimes they've got a new meal and they have someone out the front where you can have a little taste test. And so there'll be that still going on. But if you want to go deeper, and if you want to have the whole meal, and if you want to really experience it, then you come backstage into the inner circle. So that's kind of, I guess, the best analogy that I can use as to how that works. And so the cost, it's obvious, it's easy. It's $25 a month, which is like over $6 a week, to access this room. And so you can pay monthly, so you can just pay $25, pop in for a month, and then just choose to walk out, or you can pay 6 months in advance. And if you do that, you get a special welcome pack from me as well that you'll get in the mail with some sparkly stuff in my book, etc. So that's what that is all about. So I'm pivoting or pirouetting or doing what I have to do, obviously, to continue to serve, but obviously to also earn an income, because we all have to do that. But I just wanted to find a way that I could give more to all of you and get closer to all of you, and I hope nurture and support and love you and empower you through these times that are challenging for all of us. So I thank you. I love you being in my tribe. I miss being able to be connected with you in a room and personally, and it was so wonderful last night to be in a room with people, and I had to keep reminding myself, don't hug anybody, don't hug anymore. And this is the other thing, because we're physically distanced, it's so much more important that we're staying more emotionally connected and energetically connected, and that we're working out all those things, and I see news feeds are filled with negativity, and I've been reading more and more personal development books through this time than I have for years, simply because you need to keep putting more of the positive in to negate, all that negativity and that fear out there and that heaviness. And so I want to continue to do that for you and be there for you in any way I can. So I look forward to continuing to see you here or seeing you backstage if you want to go a little bit deeper. I will put the link up at this post, and I will also put it in the comments below. If you have any more questions, put them in the comments. I can't read them right now, but I will go back and read any questions that you might have about it and answer them for you. But I appreciate you. I love you being in my tribe. I'm wrapping you up in a big virtual hug, and and I just send you all the very best and love yourself through this time. And it is it's a changing time. We've got to dance on this shifting carpet. You know, I sort of said the other day to someone that it's like we're learning to walk again. You know, we've never done this COVID walk. And like when we were learning to walk, we stumbled and we fell over. And I feel like that's what the world's doing at the moment. We're learning how to walk through this and we're stumbling, we're hurting ourselves, we're falling over. But we keep getting back up and we will keep getting back up and we will get through this and we will be stronger for it. We will be stronger for it. So love each other up, be kind to each other. And I look forward to seeing you here or hopefully I'll see you backstage. Okay, see ya.